fellow bakers. Welcome to a Tuesday afternoon where my husband's big violet eyes, that's why I fell in love with him, for his violet eyes, have begged me with those big puppy dog sad things to make some of these pecan pie mini muffins. Credit goes out to my sister-in-law, Carol Hayes. She told me about these and she says, just try them. It sounds weird, but just try them, you'll love them. Well, let me tell you, these are a big hit at deer camp. My husband loves these any time of day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, late night snack, whatever. Super simple to make, super quick. So that's my kind of recipe. I want to talk about pans first. This is a pan. It's a mini muffin pan, okay? This I use my medium scoop on. The other pans I ordered from Walmart, thinking they were the same, but they're not, are a little bit smaller. Still, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This makes 18, this makes 24. The bigger one makes 24. So this recipe fits this pan perfectly. When I'm making the smaller pan, I double this recipe and then put whatever's left over after I fill those with the small scoop in the bigger pan, just a few of them to use it up. I typically make 4 pans of these to send to deer camp, and Rick says they don't usually last beyond the first, second day. So anyway, what you're gonna need, and I'll post in the comments this recipe. It's a cup of brown sugar, a half a cup of all-purpose flour, a cup of chopped pecans, 2/3 cup soft butter, and 2 eggs. You're gonna mix all that together and scoop them into the muffin pans. That on this pan I have used a little pan for baking, which has a little flour in it too. Just a little bit on the bottom so they'll release easy. Now, it doesn't call for vanilla, but I always put vanilla in it. But this time, look who found a bottle of Fireball whiskey on sale. So I know how liquor flavors things, and Rick wanted to do a test batch before I took these down to deer camp. You know, the liquor bakes out, but it's got a little cinnamon in it, so it should be interesting. So let's get started. First thing I'm gonna do, I better not get rid of my recipe too far. I can't see, you know me, half blind. We're gonna start with a cup of sugar, which my little scoop in here. And remember, if you've got your brown sugar, always have a sugar bear or a piece of something that you can wet and soak to keep your brown sugar nice and soft. Those are available at King Arthur too. I do everything through King Arthur, I love them. So I'm gonna need 3 of these for a cup. And right now, I typically go between light and dark brown sugar, and so I'm hitting the bottom, which had light sugar in it, so we've been using dark brown, so this is a mix, but I usually make it with all light. And then get that cover on your brown sugar right away because you don't want it to dry out. And then we're going to take a half a cup of flour, and remember to stir your flour. Now, I'm eyeballing this because I only have a cup scoop. That's about it. Doesn't take much flour, so that's good, especially if you're gluten-free. You can use a non-gluten flour. I know they make it. I don't have that problem. I'm going to take 2 eggs. And some of you say, well, why isn't she creaming her butter with her? It doesn't matter. You're going to stir this all up. You can even use your mixer if you want. Doesn't matter. And then a cup of pecans. Now, my husband loves pecans. So my cup is a 1 and a 2, and maybe a few more. He loves pecans, so, you know, nuts are good for you to a certain extent. And then we need a cup, or 2/3 of a cup of butter. So I'm gonna take my knife, and you know, on your little butter things, they tell you what 1/3 of a cup is, which is just a little over 6 tablespoons. So I will save these little, I have two of them here, but I will save the little ends and put them in my butter dish later. And if you're really thrifty, and sometimes when butter's high, I save my wrappers to grease pans. These I happened to get super cheap, $2 for a 4-pack, which is very cheap. But I'm still gonna get all of it off I can. Don't want to be wasteful. Okay, wash my hands a little bit. And I had washed before I started, so don't worry, I'm being sanitary. And then usually I use like a couple of teaspoons. Ooh, that's interesting. So we'll just give it a splash. That's just a splash, not much. I've not even tried it. It was just on sale and I thought, you know what? I've never tried that, but with a cinnamon flavor, that could be used in baking. Like I use my wines in cooking. I don't buy cheap wines. I buy a good grade wine. So all I'm doing here is just kind of mashing this together. There's no baking soda, baking powder, nothing. And you'd be surprised. This will maybe float your boat. Is it low in calories? No, probably not with the butter and the sugar. Is it good for a diabetic? No, probably not. But I don't make them that often. But I thought I really should try these before I send them down there. I don't want people to complain about my cooking. Of course, my response to that is, hey, it's there if you want to eat it. If you don't, go hungry. I'm not cooking 3 meals. No way. I've always been that way. I serve, I ask you what you want. If you don't know what you want to eat, you get what I make. And there you go. Kind of call it like I see it. Okay, so once you get it kind of stirred together, you're going to beat it till that butter is all mixed in. Don't want to see big clumps of butter. It was soft. I had it at room temperature. And so I'm going to show you. This is what it looks like. Just a small batch. And you're just simply going to I take the medium one with this size pan, okay? So just full, not over full. Plop it in. Now, if you don't get too crazy and overfill, and you don't want to overfill because with the butter and the sugar in here, they tend to spread, and if they're above that, you're going to have a mess on your pan, on the bottom of your oven. So you can see, that's what they look like. And I'm going to finish this up. We're going to pop them into a 350 oven, which has been preheating. Always preheat your oven. For 25 to 30 minutes till they're golden brown, and then we'll come out. So I'll be back. Okay, so 25 minutes later, and they are done. Look at those beauties. Now, do not, under any circumstances, bite into these while they're hot, because you will burn your mouth. Too much sugar in there. So let them cool about 5 minutes, and then take a little knife, and they should pop right out, and then you want to let them cool the rest of the way. Store them in an airtight container. I use one of my Tupperware containers to just lay them out in rows with wax paper in between. It works. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Be kind, be safe. If you have some elderly relatives or neighbors that could use a little pick-me-up, why not make a batch of these and split them? You know, keep half, give half away. You never know when you can change someone's life for the better. So be kind. Always think of others first. Love you.